Om Shanti. Welcome all of you to the Values for Life series. Before we begin, we'll just spend a minute of silence, invoke the divine, the supreme being. So, just a minute of silence. So, welcome back, all of you, again. And welcome to the fifth episode, which is on introspection, introversion. Come when the month of January, all of us, for the Brahma Kumaris students, it's a very special, auspicious month. As all of you know, Prajapita Brahma, the founder, father of Brahma Kumaris, it was this month where he attained his stage of perfection and completion on the 18th of January 1969, 51 years from now. And it is in his remembrance we celebrate the 18th January 1969, which is what we call the Smriti Divas, the Day of Remembrance. So we are very fortunate that in this month we have selected two such topics, two such values which take you into the depths of meditation and help you in exploring your inner self. So those two topics, the first one we are already doing today is introversion or introspection, and the second one 2 weeks from now would be concentration. So we are extremely fortunate that we have amongst us Sister Meera Didi from Malaysia. I'll be welcoming her later. To start with, I will just want Dr. Ashok Mehta. All of you are very well aware of him. He is the president of the medical wing of Brahma Kumaris and also the director of the Global Hospital of Brahma Kumaris in Mount Abu and even in Mumbai. So I would request him to say a few words of blessings for the program. Over to Dr. Mehta. You have to unmute yourself, Dr. Mehta.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Om Shanti Manoj Bhai
Sure.
and Meera Didi. Welcome, Meera Didi, to this program of Values for Life, which has been organized by Manoj Bhai and it's been very interesting that we are going to hear from you the value of introspection. Uh, this is the month in which we all have our internal journeys, and your guidance on this internal journey would be of a great help to most of us. Uh, I'm aware of the excellent work that you have done since you joined the Brahma Kumaris in 1968 from Mysore. And you have been the director of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University of Malaysia. You have done a phenomenal work. I see that beautiful Asian Retreat Center where you conduct a plethora of programs. And of course, you have been very well associated with the international activities, mainly during the International Year of Peace in 1986, Million Minutes of Peace subsequently, and you attended the finale in New York. Your work in global cooperation for better world, a peace message initiative, which was again dedicated to United Nations, has been known to most of us. But I'm sure that your contribution uh, to our university across the world, and especially working from the Asia, the eastern part, is very highly appreciated. I welcome you once again, and I'm sure that the phenomenal speaker that you are, we're going to have an excellent time listening to you. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehta. You made my job very easy. You already introduced Sister Meera Didi. That's perfectly fine. I would now also like to thank Claudia, Sister Dr. Claudia. She was a dentist by profession. She's the center in charge of Vancouver. And Anu, Sister, who is also a subordinate there. So, Anu, Sister, if you can kindly welcome Sister Meera Didi.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj brother, and very happy to welcome Meera Didi today to the program. So, on behalf of everyone all over the world, Meera Didi, welcome with pure white flowers. We're very happy for you are here with us, and you will take us deep inside to this pure core of each one of us. And we are looking forward to go to that depth of introversion. So welcome to Vancouver and welcome to this world program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anu, Sister. So, without being between you and the audience, I would now request Meera Didi to proceed with the talk on introspection or introversion. Over to Sister Meera. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this series of talks. I would like to greet everyone with the traditional word of greetings that we use in the Brahma Kumaris when we meet with each other. Om Shanti, which means I am a peaceful soul. A very good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whoever is listening, because you are in different time zones. And before I share anything, I would also like to extend a belated Happy New Year to all of you. I hope that 2021 will give us an opportunity to go deeper within the self and discover ourselves, connect ourselves with the Supreme, and take so much of energy that we are able to transform ourselves and transform the world. So I wish you all the best for this year 2021. We all have heard this expression, very common, we all know. When wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. Excuse me. So what we find in our society today, there is day by day deterioration of the character amongst human life, human beings. So sometimes I wonder, when God created his creation, he placed human beings in the highest rank, highest pedestal, because human beings possess one special faculty, intellect, that can be used to make discrimination and judgment between right and wrong. So, looking at the character deteriorating day by day, I wonder what happens to the human's intellect. Why have human beings become like a beast? So, sometimes I was told that human beings never become a beast, but they have become worse than the beast at present, because devoid of human moral and spiritual values, our life has become worth not a penny. And so we need to look into ourselves deeply to find out what has happened during the journey of our life, that we have lost that authentic values that we carried with ourselves as human beings. And I think if I want to go back to discover, you can say rediscover those, cherishable, imperishable values, I need to first of all look into my awareness. What was the awareness I had when I was full of values? And what is the awareness at the present? So once we are able to understand the importance of awareness in our life, we are able to understand that the reason for losing the character, losing the values that we had in our life is ignorance in the form of body consciousness. So when we have that ignorance in the form of body consciousness, so we come under the influence of the negative forces, whether it is lust, greed, attachment, ego, whatever. And so we become more extrovert, paying more attention to what is outside more than within ourselves. And so I think what we need to understand at this point of time is to look deep within, to know the reason why we have lost our original character, the authentic value, is because I have forgotten my true self. And the proof of that is if you ask anyone today to give their own introduction, who are you, or ask them just to look into themselves, they will always give the introduction of the body, the name, the age, the relationship, but the real true self is forgotten. And because that we have turned our consciousness totally from true consciousness to false consciousness. And so introversion actually helps us to dive deep into ourselves. And that is why one of the definition I would give for introduction is actually antarmukta. In Hindi, we call it antarmukta, which means that to turn my mind within. Why we say mukta, turning the mind within, is because in the face, all the five sense organs are present. And so when I am able to turn my mind within, I am able to actually pack up all the sense organs, and I am able to be intact deep within myself. And so one of the definition of introversion is diving deep into my divine self. And so that is why in olden days, introversion was always compared to a kind of a cave. When tapasvis and munis and rishis, they want to meditate, do tapasya, they will always sit inside the cave. And within that cave, where there is no sound coming from outside, no sound coming from inside out, in that silent atmosphere, they could contemplate. So introversion is going into my inside cave. Each one of us have our private room. So we have to turn our mind within and spend some time every day to be with ourselves. Very often I ask this question to people: who is the most important person for you in your life? Of course, all of us would say it is me. So if it is I am the most important person, I become a VIP, right? So I should be able to make an appointment with myself, to meet with myself. So how much time do you give yourself to look at yourself, to be yourself? So we have forgotten. So that is why we don't know about ourselves. Our other people know about me more than myself. So introversion gives us an opportunity to turn our mind within and to look at myself. Who am I? Whose child am I? Where I have come from? And what is the purpose of my life? Now, until I am able to understand the answers for all these questions, I am not able to lead a normal human life. So that is why our life has become more barbaric, animal instinct than human life. And so I think it is very important for us to take some time off, detach ourselves totally from the body, from the bodily world attraction, go into the inner world. And so be yourself. You don't need to pretend you are somebody else. You can be yourself when you are with yourself. And when you are able to concentrate your energy on yourself, something magical happens. In that stage of introversion, you are able to activate the positive values you already have within yourself. You know for sure we are all born positive. We are authentically positive, but we have not activated that positive energy enough for us to make use of it. So to turn my mind within means to be in that solitude, in that state of deep silence, so that I am able to focus my mind on that point of light, the soul I am. So I am able to activate, I am able to tap the 8 positive qualities that are within myself and lead my life on the basis of that. And so for that, of course, I need to give some quality time for myself. So introversion can also be called underground, going underground. When you are introvert, it is as if you have gone underground. You disappear from the world outside. So you are in the inner world where you are able to rediscover your real self. And so in that inner introversion, introspectiveness, you are beyond any kind of sound from outside or sound from inside. So you are able to see your real self. You are able to listen to your own inner voice. Many times our conscience speaks to us, but because we are not in tune with ourselves, we don't pay attention to listen to that inner voice. And we again perform actions on the basis of our emotions. So it is like going underground, or you can call it as going into the cave of introversion to practice contemplation, meditation, concentration, whatever you want. Because anything that is discovered in the world today, it's always discovered in a state of silence, in a state of introversion, solitude. Only then you are able to concentrate better. For me, introversion can also be looked into as inwardliness. One is introversion, the second is inwardliness. Inwardliness means whatever I see through these physical eyes, I am able to give a spiritual connotation. I am able to make it spiritual, so that I am able to absorb the essence of spirituality into my life. So that is why it is important for us to be inwardly. We are living in the world, but we can be inwardly. That means we can allow the third eye of wisdom to open, so that we are able to see things through the third eye. So our perception changes. So we are able to lead a better life. So transforming everything physical that we see with our eyes into spiritual is what we call inwardliness. And there is another way of looking at introversion as introspection, inner inspection. Introspection can also be understood as inner inspection. Nowadays we spend a lot of time inspecting other people because we are extrovert. What others are supposed to do, what others are not supposed to do, we become more judgmental. Because we are extrovert, we are looking into the activities of people externally. But when I become introspective, I begin to inspect. That means I begin to check myself. Where am I at? What is my life like? Where I have gone wrong? And if I have made a mistake, I will have the self-respect to ask for forgiveness. So it is important that at least once a day before going to bed, we practice introspection, inner inspection, looking at ourselves with our third eye so that we are able to know my real self and the false self. Because what happens during the day, we play different roles and we put on different masks, different hats during the day. So sometimes we may forget who I am really. But in that stage of introspection, when you dive deep into yourself, you are able to see your authentic self. So that, if there is some mistakes done, I am able to ask for forgiveness and not repeat the same thing. So that is why I think out of all the virtues that we have, introversion is considered to be the land, the fertile land to sow the seed. Because without introversion, you cannot practice any other virtues. So I have to be, my mind and intellect has to be under my control. I should be able to attain mastery over myself so that I am able to channelize that energy in the right direction. So that is why even for the practice of meditation, the first step towards the practice of meditation is to turn your mind within. You have to be introvert to begin with. So you need to withdraw your mind. You need to detach your sense organs, your mind and intellect from everything external. And you need to focus your attention on yourself. Because that is when you begin to feel your energy conserving, Otherwise, when I am body conscious, when I am extrovert, I am slave to my sense organs. I enjoy the pleasure through the senses, and lot of energy is being wasted. No, that is the reason today when people say they cannot meditate, they cannot concentrate. What is the reason? They are not introvert, they are extrovert because they are looking at things only superficially, not deep within. And so it is important to understand the living being behind the mask. So I am not just this body. Body is only an instrument to express myself, but the one who moves the body, the one who operates through the body is I, the soul. So my experience is when I turn my mind within, I begin to realize my true self. I begin to see the real me. Who am I? I am not my name. I am not the nationality I have. I am not the religion I belong to, but I am just a being of light. So introversion leads to self-realization. And of course, it is self-realization that leads to God realization. And so it is important for me to to make time to be with myself so that I can talk to myself, I can dialogue with myself, I can get to know myself. We always like to enjoy the company of other people. When there is nobody with us, we feel so lonely. Now, my experience during this lockdown time, like say, for example, I was in quarantine for 14 days when I returned to Malaysia. I was alone in the hotel room, no communication, nothing, alone, but I never felt lonely. Even though I was alone, I was never lonely and I enjoyed my company a lot because my mind was totally focused on myself. Whatever outside, that did not make any difference to me. So I was able to understand myself better. But nowadays, people cannot stay alone. They always want somebody with them. They always want noise. In noise, they want to experience peace. But in fact, the more introvert you become, the more you appreciate yourself, accept yourself, you begin to enjoy your company. And then you are able to empower yourself, because introversion is an energy saver. And so it empowers yourself to face the challenges of life. For me, actually, when I am introvert, I don't need to be serious. Many people are scared to be introvert because of that reason. Because they have seen people who are introvert, they can't smile. They are so serious and they don't want to be like that. But in fact, the real introversion does not make you cold, does not make you dry, does not make you feel isolate. In fact, it actually makes you more cheerful. Why I say that is because, my mind, which is the face of the soul, is turned towards God. Just like, when the sun rises, the sunflower, begin to blossom, isn't it? Huh? And when you look at sunflower, it is like smiling. So the face of a person who is introvert is cheerful, not serious, because their mind, their thoughts are in tune with God. And so they are able to receive that energy from God. They are able to receive that power from God. And so their mind is positive, like a flower blooming. And someone who is introvert are also mature. They don't have any childishness in their life. They have patience in their thinking. Introvertness actually make you have patience. It doesn't exist by itself. When you are introvert, you save so much of energy that first of all, you feel always empowered. And secondly, you always feel you make your mind your best friend. And so you don't look out for any friendship outside. And you invite people to you because your face is always smiling, because my mind is thinking positive. My mind is thinking positive, and so I am able to emanate, I am able to radiate positive energy. So it is not dry, it is not cold. No, it is something that actually helps me to be myself. And so it is the foundation of all the virtues. All the virtues you can practice once you have introversion with yourself. And my own experience is also, as I was mentioning, that God created human beings and Because of the intellect, he put them in the highest rank. So when I am introvert, I am able to realize my intellect, the importance of my intellect. How my intellect is, awakened in introversion. Awakening of my intellect happens when you are introvert. And so when my intellect is awakened, what happens? So I am able to have power to discern and power to judge. It's because now we are extrovert, what we call in Raj Yoga as body conscious. So we have suppressed our intellect. So even though we have values within ourselves, we are not able to tap them because we have become a victim to body consciousness. As a result of that, the negative forces. So now what we need to do is to practice 3 things during the day. 3 exercises during the day to activate that positive values that we already have within ourselves. So the first practice begins in the early morning hours. So as soon as you wake up, you must always make sure that you wake up with one positive thought and spend at least 10 minutes being introvert. Turn your mind towards yourself and then connect yourself with God, what we call meditation. So it is like, battery connected with the powerhouse, it gets charged. So once your battery is charged, then you can use that energy in different ways during the day. So you have already sown the seed of values in your life to begin the day. And the second practice, very important, because we are all busy people. So we tend to forget, whatever positive thought we had created in the early morning. So once in an hour, stop for 1 minute and spend a few seconds at least to remind yourself of the positive thought, or remind yourself, who am I? Even that much is enough. Even that simple question, who am I? So ask yourself, am I this body? Am I this face? Am I this hand? Am I this leg? This is mine. But I am the one who uses them. So I am not the body, I am a soul. So try to visualize yourself as a tiny point of light and allow that positive energy to empower your every nerve of the body. Just a few seconds. And then the third important aspect an introverted person would do usually is to make sure that before they go to bed, they spend few minutes introspecting themselves. How was the day today? Before other people inspect us, why not I inspect myself? Right? So I need to really give that valuable time to inspect myself. If I have performed any wrong actions, I ask for forgiveness. If somebody has done something to me, I forgive them also. So, but my mind should be very quiet, calm before I say good night to God. So very important thing, a principle that should we keep in our life is don't carry what has happened today for tomorrow. Because another day will be spoiled, So actually introversion and spirituality are synonymous, 2 sides of the same coin. When you are introvert, you are automatically spiritual. Spirituality does not mean that, you have to go and sit in a cave in the forest. Spirituality is to maintain the awareness of being a spirit while I am in the body, so that I am able to project the values that I have within myself. So you have already become spiritual when you are introvert. And so because of that spirituality, you gain wisdom, you have values in life. Why? Because my third eye of knowledge is opened. So when my third eye is open, my intellect is dictated by my conscience. You see, you cannot listen to that inner voice if you are not introvert. If I am body conscious, I suppress my inner voice and I regret for what I do after some time. But when I'm introvert, when I'm in my own private room, when there is total calmness within myself, I can listen to that inner voice guiding my life. And so when I'm able to dictate my intellect with that guidance, my life is called life of wisdom. So I always define wisdom as marriage between head and heart. So that is called a life of value. So when you are able to match your head and heart, bring them together, you are said to be a wise person. So you are able to listen to your inner voice very often, so there is no more regret. So it's a life of enlightenment to go into that experience of introversion and bring that self-awareness, self-realization, God realization into my life is to lead a life of enlightenment, to lead a life based on wisdom. No, wisdom is not something you will get when you only grow old and when you have gray hair. You can gain wisdom at any time. But what is important is that we should really understand that our human life is not just body alone, not made up of flesh, bones, and muscles, but there is something beyond that, which actually performs actions, which is responsible for taking birth and rebirth, which is responsible for connecting itself with God, taking power from God. So that soul consciousness allows me to bring back that authentic values that I already had in my life. So that is why I said all of us originally, eternally, we are positive energy. It is just that due to ignorance, due to body consciousness, we had gone astray. So this practice of being introvert, withdrawing myself like a tortoise, withdrawing my sense organs from outside world, turning my mind within and look at myself and go deep into myself helps me a lot. And so that is why we say that, introversion is the mother of all the divine virtues. So when you are able to have introspection, inwardliness, you really save a lot of energy. So you are able to accumulate a lot of spiritual powers that would help us in the future to face the challenges that we are supposed to, face in our life. So don't misunderstand introversion to be cold, to be dry, to be someone who is a kind of a sannyasi type, who cannot smile, serious. No, actually, real introversion is very positive and it makes your life very lively. I could say that, like for example, our founder father, this year we are concentrating on different specialities of Brahma Baba, our founder father. And I was listening to one of his specialities is that, he was entertaining. He had an entertaining nature, but at the same time, he was introvert. So you can have both. Like Prakashmani Dadi, Dadi Janki, we have Mamma, Jagadamba Saraswati. So they were all entertaining. Entertaining does not mean that you have to sing and dance and laugh loudly. That is not called entertaining. Entertaining nature means you are able to be cheerful, happy, content, make others happy and content. But at the same time, when you want to withdraw, you have the authority. So the one who is introvert is a self-sovereign, is a master of one's own self. Because they have attained mastery over the self, they can withdraw themselves from the sense organs when they want, and they can use them whenever they want. So this detachment and love is the practical sign of an introvert person. Not become too attached, not become too detached. So it is like a lotus flower. When you are introvert, you can live like a lotus flower. You are in the water, and yet you are not touched by even one drop of water. Such a beautiful life. So living in this iron age, we can still manage to lead a life like lotus. So wherever you are, you can be smiling, you can be detached, but at the same time, you save energy. You don't waste your energy in unnecessary matters. So that is why the slogan of an introverted person is see no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil, think no evil, do no evil. And so they are saved from those unnecessary things. So that is why a lot of energy is being used. And so it is a gateway. Introversion is a gateway for us to learn how to meditate. Introversion is a gateway for us to bring in values into our life. Introversion is the key to unlock the treasures that we have within ourselves. Now, each one of us have a lot of treasures waiting to be made use of, but only when we apply the key of introversion, it is possible. So that is why, living in this world of chaos, where there is so much of noise outside, every now and then take a few minutes, turn within, and go into your private room. Create an atmosphere of solitude, silence, and take a seat of self-respect and go deep into that silence experience. So I would say that silence, silence, introspection, and solitude cannot be separated. So when I'm able to practice that exercise every now and then, so I feel like, I am always empowered, energized. Even in the midst of chaotic situation, I can remain stable because I see things from a different perspective, not from outside in, but I see from inside out. So I am able to take responsibility for myself. So I will not point my fingers towards others. So when I'm introvert, I spend more time in positive thinking about myself and having good wishes for others. And so that is why I am able to make everyone my best friend. So I hope you are able to adopt this value in your life, at least from today. If you have not, after understanding clearly, it is not something that is going to take away your enjoyment of the life, but it will actually make your life more stronger, more empowering, and more enjoyable. So take this gift of introversion use it in your life, and share this gift to everyone you meet with. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi, immensely for elaborating so much on introspection and making it so simple. That's the speciality of Meera Didi. She makes a very complex topic very, very easy and very approachable. And I would really want to tell you all that the myths about introversion, like if you are introvert, you are very dry, you are very cold, you're like a sannyasi, you're withdrawn, you're detached. Didi very rightly pointed out that you're actually more cheerful, you are more lively, and you actually should have a balance of entertainment, that is Ramanikta versus Antarmukta, as all the seniors in the Yagya had it. So there are a couple of questions, Didi. I'll just read out the first question, which is also related to another myth of in being introversion. So the sister is asking, it's a long question, I'll read it out fully for you. She's asking, being silent, is it equivalent to being introvert? Because at many times at my workplace, when I face many challenging situations where I'm not able to make right decisions, and then I go into my own silence, and that reflects that on my wrong decision. So if I'm an introvert, then I'm clear for taking good decisions. But I want to know that whether being silent or not reacting in any situation, is that also equivalent to introversion?
I would say yes and no, because it could be yes in certain situation, because some people, they can be quiet, you know, they can be quiet. They move away from a situation because they can't face it, but they have a lot of turmoil inside. They are not silent inside, but they are externally keeping their mouth shut because they cannot do anything. That they call it as silent, moving away from situation, not being able to face it, and but experiencing a lot of turmoil within. So that is not introversion. When you are introvert, you can be in that situation, but you can detach yourself. This is the beauty of introversion. Like, the switches of the sense organs are in your hand. So you turn off the switches and you be there very much, but you are not affected. You are like a tortoise. Withdraw the organs, but you are there as if there is a rock. So you are not affected by any of the situations. That is introversion. Not that physically you move away and then you are going through that storms in your mind and you lose a lot of energy. So introversion teaches you not to run away from a situation, but to face the situation with courage and positivity and detachment, so that I know my strength. Otherwise I will not know my strength. So it is weakness to run away from the situation and try to suppress my mind. So in introversion, we don't suppress our mind. We try to channelize the energy of the mind in a positive direction.
Thank you, Didi. Next question is, how can one be an embodiment of introversion every moment? Is there a way to practice it? Every moment I need to be introverted. How can I do that?
So you have to see, a journey of 1,000 miles cannot begin with one step. So you cannot think of practicing 24 hours a day when you have not even started. Huh? Practicing at least once a day, twice a day, make it a habit. Because if you want to make any practice natural, you have to do it, I tell you, at least 21 times in your life. That is psychologically, physiologically proven. Any habit, you want to make it part of your life, you do it 21 times. So begin, you don't think only, you begin practicing introversion. Maybe beginning your day, as I said, once in an hour, So couple of times during the day. So your practice makes you perfect. But if I'm thinking of doing whole day and never start it, so it will never happen. So any action that is repeated becomes a habit. And any habit that is repeated becomes a sanskara. So you become an introverted person in your personality when you have repeatedly practiced. But for that, I must have attention on myself. If my attention is always focused on other people, I cannot practice introversion.
Right. Thank you. This actually is the answer for the other person. The other brother is asking that introversion comes to me very easily when I sit in yoga or when I'm alone by myself because I'm connected to God. But when I'm with other people, I get extroverted at work or many other things. So as you rightly said, the two A's, the attention constantly and the awareness, because it's a practice and
Yeah,
practice
it is
makes
a
man
practice.
perfect.
It is a practice because that is where the challenge is, See, when you are on your own, you practice introversion. That is not any greatness. But the greatness is you live with the people and not get affected by their behavior. An introvert person is not affected by the behavior of people around them. So they don't have any complaints. So that is where I have to take it as a challenge.
Right.
If I want peace, I can create the practice I want to have for myself. But if somebody else comes and sit next to me, they want to have peace with noise, I cannot stop them. So if I'm introvert, I am able to accommodate. I am able to adjust. So that becomes an inspiration for other people, you know. So it's not a greatness that I can be introvert when I'm meditating, but I can't do when I come into the world. So that is very superficial. It is not deep practice.
Yeah, thank you, Didi. Beautiful explanation. I'll take one of the last questions. The brother is saying, Didi, you have a very beautiful voice. And thank you so much for a wonderful session. That's what he's saying. His question is, you said introversion saves energy. Can you kindly explain how does it save energy? She's
See,
saying.
wherever you have to think, see, our mind is constantly thinking. They say we have anything up to 50,000 thoughts in 24 hours. That is what doctors say, research say. So it is such a fast speed. So when I turn my mind within, I master my thoughts because I become I become soul conscious. So the power of my thoughts are under my control. So I can channelize my thoughts according to my direction. So wherever I have to think 10 thoughts, I will think 5 thoughts. I will save 5 thoughts. Wherever I need to speak 10 words, I can only speak 5 words that can do the work and I save 5 words. So time also, unnecessarily I don't spend. So time, words, thoughts, energy is economized because I don't need to think too much to get the work accomplished because there is power in my thought. In introversion, you understand the less you think, the more power you will have in your thought, and the thought will get materialized. So that is why I call it as energy saver. So we save energy at every hour, every day, and over a period of time, that energy saving will save our lives from a lot of catastrophic situations.
Right. And there's one last question. They're saying that we are busy working professionals. We don't really find time for introspection. But I think you already answered that the three practices that at least once we wake up in the morning, at least spend those first 5 or 10 minutes, as you rightly said. Then once you go back to bed, before that first next 5, 10 minutes, you can spend with yourself what happened in the entire day. And in between, you need to keep checking it like once an hour, once every hour, spend a few minutes in silence. So I
Yes.
think you've answered that. But another question has just popped up again. I'm sorry, I'll take that as well. It's a beautiful question that sometimes people take you for granted when you are introvert. So how can you be assertive in those situations without losing your calm?
See, actually, if you are genuinely introverted, I don't think anybody take you for granted. But if my introversion is very superficial, sometimes like we, in our organization also, like when we go to Madhuban, when we have bhattis, when seniors come to us, so we become so introvert, so serious about our progress. We will feel like, oh, I should not talk too much. I must keep silent. So we practice it, but it is only for a short time. Once we move away from that atmosphere, we become square one. So if that is not self oriented, I am creating that introversion on the basis of my own self interest and with my proper understanding, I will keep it up under any situation. It cannot disappear from me. But many times we get influenced by the company, we get influenced by the atmosphere, so we get intoxicated to practice introversion, and we do it for a few days. And then when we move away from the people or atmosphere, we don't have created the foundation for ourselves, so we lose that connection. So that is why anything you do it from the heart, you are able to keep it up because it's your decision. But if I'm influenced by someone, I copy someone and do it, it doesn't last longer. That's my experience.
Right. Thank you immensely for all these answers. Beautifully sorted out, clearing the myths about introspection. So time is coming to the close. So we will request now Meera Didi to help us in going in the depth of introversion by taking us in a meditative mood. So I'll just play the music as well. So hope the voice is audible, Anu sister.
Hopefully, I don't know how many of you listening have done meditation before. I won't be able to know. So if you can put your cameras on and raise your hand, at least I will get to know how many of you have meditated before. How many of you? Quite a few, and some of you have not. Okay. So, what is meditation? Many people think meditation is, suppressing the mind, stop thinking, blanking the mind. But in fact, meditation is the right use of the mind. Whole day you are thinking. Even in meditation, you will be thinking. The only difference is you are thinking in a positive way. You are using your mind in a positive way so you feel relaxed, so you feel empowered. Otherwise, mind is using. So this is very important to understand. Otherwise, the image that usually comes in front of us about a meditator is someone sitting with the closed eyes, with the lotus posture, thinking, I don't want to think. And they are thinking they are meditating. And then they come back, give complaints saying, Sister, I cannot concentrate. Why? Because they are trying not to think and they cannot stop thinking. But actually, you cannot stop thinking. It's the nature of the mind to think. So, to meditate means to channelize the energy of your thought in a positive direction. So in Raj Yoga, we have 3 steps. So we always start meditation with journey inwards. That's where you become introvert. Journey inwards, inward journey. Then upward journey. And then finally outward journey. It's a journey. So then you find that positive energy that you accumulate. It gives you a lot of energy even after meditation has finished. So don't try to stop your thoughts. Let the thoughts run on the screen of your mind as it is. All that you need to do is observe the thoughts. We call it as SOS exercise. Stand back, observe, and steer. That's the first step. You just stand back, observe the thoughts, and choose a few positive thoughts. And try to give those thoughts to your mind again and again so that the mind becomes calm. Okay, so let us experiment. So when you are going to meditate now, don't close your eyes. Don't need to sit in any particular posture. Sit comfortably. You can sit anywhere you like. And you don't have to stop thinking. Let the thought run on the screen of your mind. But I am going to suggest a few simple thoughts. And if you feel comfortable, you suggest those thoughts to your mind. And slowly, slowly, you find the speed of thoughts that was in the beginning becomes slow. And you choose only a few positive thoughts to go deep into yourself and embody them and hold them as long as you can. So it takes some practice. Don't expect the result in one day, but it will give you if you are correct in your practice. Okay? So let us experiment today. Om Shanti. I allow my body to sit comfortably, relaxed, with a straight back and my feet firm on the floor, my hands relaxed on my lap. I turn my mind within. I ask myself this question: who am I? Who am I really? What answer emerges from within when I ask this question to myself? Am I this name? Am I this body? Am I this eyes? These are organs of the body. As I ponder deeply over these thoughts, who am I? I begin to feel another layer emerging from deep within. I have feelings. I have emotions. I have thoughts. I even have memories of the past. All these subtle aspects are contained in a tiny, tiny living light. I visualize myself as that living light in the center of my forehead. I am light, a being of light. I am immortal. I exist forever. As I begin to focus my thoughts towards this living light in the center of my forehead, I begin my inward journey. I touch the core of this energy and I discover peace, vibrations of peace emerges from deep within and fills my mind. My mind has become a calm lake without any ripples. I enjoy these moments of being at peace with myself. Peace and silence. Peace and silence. Inner peace, inner power. I am feeling myself very strong in this experience of peace and very light, weightless in this awareness of being light. In 1 second, I can move away from this body. I detach myself from this body and I see myself floating beyond this body, moving upwards like a beam of light, enjoying freedom. I slowly enter into the dimension of golden red light beyond this world of cosmos. I am light. I am surrounded by the beautiful golden light of this dimension. In this dimension of golden red light, I am pulled towards the supreme light, the light of God. I, the being of light, I come closer and closer to the supreme light. I am connected. I am in union with the supreme light. The supreme light, like the sun, is showering rays filled with light, with might, which is penetrating deeply into my soul and cleansing. The supreme light is showering so much love. I am lost in this ocean of love. Shiv Baba, the supreme light, the Almighty, is filling me with all His powers. I stay in this soul world in union with the supreme light. Enjoy this experience of being empowered, energized, light upon light, in silence. I feel I am full with God's love and light. I prepare myself from beyond to slowly return as a point of light, slowly return to the world of matter, return to my body, and see myself sparkling, radiating God's love and light from my forehead out into the world. I am light. I am peace. I am love. I am silence. I am balance. I am light, full of love and peace. Om Shanti. 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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful experience, Didi. Very enlightening and very soothing and calming. So, with this, we come to the close of the session. I would now request Dr. Claudia, who is the center coordinator of the local center at Vancouver in Canada, to propose a vote of thanks to Meera Didi. Over to Dr. Claudia, sister.
Om Shanti. Sister Meera, thank you for being with us. I know it's so late for you, it's 11 o'clock, but you are like just early in the morning, so much light and so much energy coming from you. Thank you for being with us and share your knowledge. You have so much knowledge in introspection, I know that. And that it was very good for us to listen to you and to also to understand, because the power of silence, we cannot have that power of silence without having introspection. So, and those power of silence bring us so much the best of us out. And then, and was also, I was remembering when we start a project of volcanic yoga, you are the first one who will start bring us and teaching us how to do it. And you show us today was a very nice meditation like those that we used to do as a volcanic yoga, very powerful yoga. So thank you for being with us, and all the best for everyone. Thank you for everyone to be here with us, and thank you, Didi, so much. Have a good night.
Same to you all. Good night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay good.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Claudia, sister. And before we just go, we'll just have a few announcements in the next minute, a few announcements for the future program. So Anu, sister, if you can just share the screen. Yeah. So whatever Didi covered in detail, we'll be having a small mini workshop on the same value in the form of a few experiential exercises 1 week from now, coming Sunday. India time is 10 to 11:30, and same West Coast Canada time is 1 day prior, 8:30 to 10 p.m. The Zoom ID, you can note it down, and the passcode is values. We'll be intimating you, so you don't need to worry about writing it down right now. And after this, the fortnightly series episode 6 is on concentration, which will be on Sunday 24th, the routine time 8 to 9 p.m. And it will be by Sister Usha from Madhuban, BK Sister Usha from Madhuban. And once again, we thank immensely because it's almost beyond 11, it's 11:15, 11:30 Malaysia time. So we thank immensely from the bottom of our hearts to Malaysia ARC coordinator, Sister Meera Didi. And we look forward to having you again for future sessions. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Nice meeting all of you.